Hey guys, Chantal Betts here. I am really excited to talk to you today about a very important topic, meal prepping and planning. I don't know about you, but if my kitchen is not organized, if the healthy options are not accessible, then I'm not going to eat them. It needs to be easy and easy to see, easy to find, so it's not like lost somewhere in the back of your fridge, in the produce bag that you bought it in from the store, and then you can't see it and you can't find it, and then you're not inclined to eat any of it, right? And then it just goes bad and goes to waste. So I'm going to talk about some of the tools and the tips and tricks that I use when I am planning for the container plan portion fix. So I like to see everything. So I like to have it organized in these clear containers. For example, I love these for eggs because then you can see when you're like running low. Clearly I'm running low right now on eggs, so it's not a surprise when you pull out the cardboard egg carton and see that you only have one egg when you need two. I also like to pre-wash all my veggies, and then I will store them. These are new actually. I will store them in like clear containers like this, so I can just slide them into my fridge, quickly slide them out, grab what I need, and get on with my cooking. Meal cooking. That's a word, right? I do the same thing with yogurt because these little suckers get like lost in the fridge. My kids love these, especially for school, for lunches. So I will pull it out and then they can even pick their own. It just makes it easier to find in there. So that stuff isn't like toppling over. Another thing that I like to do is I like to have these like storage containers like this so that when I get bags of stuff home from the grocery store, I can store them in my cupboard, in my pantry. I can see what's in them. I can see how much is left, and then I can just pull it out and cook. Because all of these things here, for example, that aren't stored in a container like that, this is in the pantry. It just gets lost, and it's hard to find them. It's hard to see what you have, and it just kind of makes it like a mess and makes it look a little ugly, in my opinion. Something that, oh, by the way, these I love. These are some salad toppers. I find them super quick and easy because they're already pre-mixed. This one has dried dates, roasted almonds, roasted pumpkin seeds, hazelnuts, sunflower seeds, and dried pineapple. You can add these on your salad as quick salad toppers, and then throw on some dressing if you are in a rush for a lunch and you don't have time. These are also great to add some flavor. They're crispy onions. I like to sprinkle a few of those on my salads as well. Now, for storing my Shakeology, I have these wicker basket things. Like the top has like a metal piece. This one's kind of falling apart a bit because it's gotten a lot of use. I store this in the bottom of my cupboard so that I can pull it out and I can see all the different flavors and Energize and all sorts of stuff that I have in my cupboard. Again, so they're not like toppling all over the place. They also have canisters. I've yet to get some that will fit a full bag of your Shakeology in a canister so that they're prettier and clear and you can like see them and just pull them right out. I used to store my veggies. I still kind of am guilty of this sometimes in like the produce bag they come in the store. But then when you do that and you shove them in like your crisper in your fridge, it's hard to see what you have. Stuff goes bad really fast because it's not like sealed properly. And it just does not look very pretty. So I like to pre-wash them and store them either on top of the bag so you can see what you have, or again in these containers like this. I also use Ziploc freezer bags a lot. I know they make, Ziploc makes a produce bag now. I cannot find any. They've been really hard to find lately. But what I will do is I will pre-wash my veggies, stick them in the produce bag, and then I can store them like this so I can see them. I'm a very visual person, and being able to see the fresh fruits and vegetables makes me more inclined to eat them than if they're in the ugly produce bags like this from the store. So those are some of the tips I use for food storage. I also have these, again, Ziploc. They're very inexpensive. You can get them at most grocery stores to store leftover food. I love the fact that they're clear so I can see what's in them. They stack really easy, so I can stack them in my cupboard when I'm not using them, or I can stack them in my fridge, store leftovers, and then you can just pull them out. They can go straight into the microwave, and they're really easy to use. And dishwasher friendly, again, which is like a huge thing for me. I try to buy containers, again, that are clear. Sometimes I'll repurpose them, and then I will refill them with things that come in a bag. And again, all this, like the plastic, like the Ziploc bags, I'm one of those crazy people who will wash them and reuse them. I do not throw them out until they get a hole and they're unusable. My husband hates it, but I do not like waste. I do not like plastic waste. It really bothers me. I don't want it in our landfills and being thrown out. So I will so this bag here, when I'm done, unless it's touched meat, I will wash these with soap and water in the sink, and then just sit them out to dry, and then I reuse them again. Those are my basic tips for how I stay organized with food prep and planning, so it's easy. Something else that's really important is water. I know I didn't talk about this in the last video about the container system, but your water, guys, is really important. You should be drinking about half of your body weight in water. I found this giant, huge jug thing on Amazon. I actually love it because it's got like a time here, and that way you can it motivates you to drink more through the day. You can see how much water is in it. I also have these, which are really pretty. I like that they keep water cold, but again, you can't really see how much you're drinking. So sometimes I prefer to use a clear one with the measurement, so I know that I'm getting at least half of my body weight in water in a day. It really is up to you what kind of water bottle you think will work for you that will keep you drinking more water throughout the day. This thing I find overwhelming for me personally because it's too big, so I will actually take the lid off and I will pour it into a glass or a smaller water bottle and drink it that way instead. That might not be an option if you're working in an office, maybe you have access to a water cooler. I would, in that case, get like a smaller one if you don't want to carry this thing around with the measurements so that you can track how much you're having. Also, I like to make egg muffin cups, so I love these cupcake tins. You just put a bit of grass-fed butter in there, and you can bake some egg muffin cups, and those are really quick, super easy breakfasts or super quick lunches. You'll put like an egg in there. You can put some veggies in there, so it would be like a red, maybe like half a green container, and depending on what else you put in there, it could be like a yellow or a blue as well. So I find these really, really helpful for that as well. To make breakfast a little bit easier, because I know a lot of people always ask, and I said this in the last video, they ask like, what do you do for breakfast? Those egg muffin cups, and getting one of these so that you can make them is a really, really helpful tool that I find. Also, on my fridge right over here, I have printed out our What's for Dinner resource, and I've laminated it. I have a laminator at home that came with a cutting tool. I'm very visual. I love crafts. I've never used it until I finally needed it for something with this, and I've had it for like, I don't know, 10 years. You can also get stuff laminated at like Staples or something, but I laminated this so I can use like a white erase marker and then write down my meals, my plan for supper or dinner, and then that way it's on the fridge. It's not a question of what am I making today. I pull out meat that might need to be de-thawed like 2 or 3 days before from our deep freezer, stick it in the bottom of our fridge so that when it's time to cook it, it's de-thawed and ready. I prefer doing it that way than using the microwave to de-thaw stuff. But I find this super helpful so that you can just write it out. You can see, your kids can see it, your husband can see it, and it's not a question of what are we doing for supper today. I like to plan my meal prep backwards. So By that, I mean I'll start with planning my supper first, and then I will use the app to track how many containers my supper is worth. And then I will plan backwards throughout the day with my breakfast and with my lunch to make sure I'm getting all of the containers in, which I know at first can be a little bit hard because it's a lot of food, and I'm a classic undereater. But that's just how I find helps me become a lot more organized, and I hope it can help you too. So I will see you in the group, and good luck meal prepping and planning. Oh yeah, one last tip. So when you're meal prepping and planning, make sure you set aside some time to do it where you can think, where your kids aren't running around driving you crazy, where you really have time to like plan out and really be thoughtful about what you're going to plan to eat. I like to really get my kids involved with meal planning. I let them pick a meal from the Nutrition Plus library. I let them pick one. My husband picks one. I pick the rest of them, and then everyone feels like they get like that input in what's being served for supper, and there's like way less complaints. And they really enjoy helping cook too, so I'll get them involved in the kitchen, give them like tasks that are age appropriate. My kids are young. And yeah, and so that's what I do, and I find it super helpful. Again, I will see you in the groups. Okay, see you guys.